right, so we've been talking a lot about sleep, and one of the areas that is getting to have a lot of attention nowadays is our circadian rhythms, or our body clock. And I did a little preview on this, but let's do a deeper dive on this too. The body clock is really controlled by your brain. The brain is receiving light input, telling us it's daytime, it's time to be alert, or it's night, it's dark, time to sleep. And that signal translates into our melatonin rhythm. Our melatonin is called the hormone of darkness, and it helps us sleep. So we want our melatonin to be high by the time we go to bed. We want it to be at least somewhat elevated. The other interesting feature of our circadian rhythm is our core body temperature. And our core body temperature also has a big impact on whether we are sleepy or, on the other hand, if we're alert. And it has actually the opposite impact of melatonin. When our core body temperature is high, we're alert. When our core body temperature is low, we're going to be sleepy. You can probably predict that there are some times of the day that our core body temperature is low. For one, the middle of the afternoon. In that 1 to 3 o'clock time, our core body temperature dips. And it's also dipping as we head to bed, and it's lowest about 4 o'clock in the morning, which, if you have ever done shift work, you know 4 o'clock in the morning is a very hard time to perform well, or even really to care about performing well. So how do we work with our circadian rhythm to really promote sleep, promote alertness? There's a couple key principles. You want to get light in kind of the way that your great-great-grandfathers got light, and grandmothers. You want to get bright light during the day, and you want it to be really dark at night. So the recommendation is for the hour before bed to turn off your electronics. Melatonin is particularly susceptible to blue light. You also want to be in dim light, doing something kind of boring and winding down from the day. On the other hand, you want to be sure to get bright light for 30 minutes or so when you first get up for the day, and in bursts throughout the day. One of the problems officers can have who are working a desk job is that they're in dim light conditions, a dim, relatively dim office throughout the day, and not getting those bursts of light. So that's another piece that's important. For those of you who are doing shift work, either extended 24, 48-hour shifts, or officers who are working night shift, there's going to be some deeper dives on shift work schedules, and you'll want to keep in mind this information about your circadian rhythm, because that's really important when we look at what sleep recommendations those folks on those extended hours or night shift schedules should keep. The last principle with the circadian rhythm is just to really think about and honor when is your core body temperature low, because those are going to be times that you're going to need to compensate by being maybe extra attentive, by having a teammate who's saying, hey, 4 o'clock in the morning, we better be a little bit more careful than we have been, just because it's a hard time of the day to perform well. Not only is our brain setting our body clock, but every cell in our body has clock genes, which makes it do more or less of its basic function at different times of day. This is particularly relevant for people who are night owls, morning larks, or somewhere in the between, which we call hummingbird. Because our circadian rhythm and our body clock is set so much in the brain, in every cell, it's something that we really can't change very easily. So if you are a night owl, a morning lark, you really want to live in rhythm with that preference. And it's not something that you're really going to be able to change, so better to adapt your lifestyle. Maybe you need to negotiate with your bed partner slightly different sleep hours so that you're sleeping at the best time for yourself. Maybe you cut out going to the gym in the morning, because really, when you get down to it, if you're a night owl, that morning sleep might be your best sleep of the night. That is another way to really use this information about how your body clock impacts your sleep and your performance.